She chose her brother over her dreams, but he forgot her. Grace was only 22 years old when tragedy happened to them. Her parents died in a terrible accident, leaving her alone with her 10-year-old brother David. In a single day, Grace became more than a sister. She became his mother, his father, his protector, and his only hope. She had just received admission to the university, but she quietly gave up her dreams. Instead of chasing a better future for herself, she chose to build one for David. To pay for his school fees, Grace sold the only piece of farmland their parents had left behind. During the day, she worked as a cleaner. At night, she washed other people's clothes under the dim light of a lantern. Some nights, she went to bed hungry, so David would have enough food to eat. Whenever people asked her why she sacrificed so much, Grace would smile and say, "One day, my brother will become a great man. That is all I need." Years passed. David worked hard in school and eventually graduated from the university with honors. As Grace watched him receive his certificate, tears filled her eyes. Every sleepless night, every hungry evening, and every painful sacrifice suddenly felt worth it. Soon afterward, David got a high-paying job in another city. Before leaving, he hugged Grace tightly and said, "I will never forget everything you have done for me." At first, he called every week, then once a month. Slowly, the call stopped. Grace kept defending him. "He's busy at work," she told the neighbors. But deep inside, she missed the little boy she had raised. One rainy evening, Grace became seriously ill. She had no money to pay for treatment. A kind neighbor called David and begged him to come. David answered, "I'm in an important meeting. Send me the hospital bill later." He never came. Grace was discharged because she couldn't pay the hospital fees. Weak and exhausted, she returned to her tiny room alone. Months later, David announced his lavish wedding. Although she had almost nothing, Grace saved every little coin she could and bought him a small gift. She wore her only old dress and traveled for hours just to bless her brother on his special day. At the entrance, a security guard stopped her. "Invitation." Grace smiled gently. "I am the groom's sister." The guard called David. From a distance, David saw Grace standing in her worn-out clothes. Ashamed that his wealthy guests might recognize her, he quietly told the guy, "Tell her to leave." Grace heard every word. She didn't argue. She didn't cry in front of everyone. She gently placed the small wrapped gift she had bought with her last savings on a nearby chair and slowly walked away in tears. Inside the gift was a handwritten letter. "My dear David, I never wanted your money. I only wanted the love of this little boy I raised. The greatest pain is not poverty. It is being forgotten by the person you gave everything for. May God bless your new home. Your sister, Grace." After the wedding, David finally opened the gift. As he read the letter, memories flooded back. He remembered Grace selling their parents' land. He remembered her washing clothes late into the night while he studied. He remembered the night she pretended she wasn't hungry so he could eat. He remembered her giving up her own dreams so he could achieve his. Tears streamed down his face. The next morning, David rushed to Grace's house. Neighbors stood silently outside. His heart sank. Grace had passed away peacefully during the night. Inside her small room, everything was exactly as she had left it. On a small wooden table sat a framed childhood photograph of Grace and little David smiling together. David collapsed on his knees and cried louder than he had ever before. He had become successful, but he has lost the only person who have loved him without condition. From that day on, David changed his life. Using his wealth, he built a free learning center for orphaned children and named it after Grace. Every child who walked through his doors became a reminder of the sister who has sacrificed everything so someone else could have a future. And every morning, before the school opened, David stood before Grace's portrait and whispered, "Thank you, I am sorry." Lesson from the story: never forget the person or people who sacrifice for your success. Appreciate those who love you while they are still alive. Success means nothing if you lose your humanity. Gratitude is one of the greatest gifts you can give. Love should be expressed today because tomorrow is never promised. So tell us in the comments, if Grace was your sister, what will you say to her today? Write your message in the comments. Please like, follow, subscribe, and comment. Bye-bye.